What are you saying, my team, my nigga? That was the beauty of Backchat, because we were organically ourselves. He used to say we're going to be stars, but I was like, please, man, we're just chatting. Like, if I was going to be a star, who got have this wig on my head? The girls were bitches. I would be worried if I was still the same person. Like, God, what is going on?
What was that like for you mentally? Referred to being your mum's husband.
I hated it. My family always keep me grounded. My mum is like my biggest cheerleader. I don't allow life to take me down. It was financial abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. I spoke about it publicly because I was finding myself in a serious debt. I'm always like, God, thank you. Thank you for keeping me grounded. Thank you for reminding me of who I am. And yeah, it's not easy. Life ain't easy. Adulting is not easy.
Have you ever been to therapy before? Hi everyone, I'm Shar George. I'm a psychotherapist. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who you know needs to hear these conversations. If you're looking for a therapist or you want to join my community, I will leave everything in the description bar. Thank you for joining me and my community in making wellness a daily practice. Let's get straight into the episode. Thank you for coming.
It's okay.
You look lovely.
Thank you, so do you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I know that when I first messaged you, reached out to you, this was something that you were a bit skeptical about doing because of people's perception of you online. So I do truly appreciate you being here.
Okay.
How does it feel to be here?
It's calm. Like, I feel like it's okay. Like, you know, I feel like the older I'm getting, I feel like I'm more willing to show people a different side of me. Yeah, I just feel like I don't think people get to see a vulnerable side to me. And yeah, I think that's just naturally the protective, you know, alpha female that I am, that I just think, nah, ain't no one gonna dub me, so you ain't gonna get no vulnerability from me. So I think that's how I've always kind of been. But I think the older I'm getting, my daughter's gonna be 12 soon. Well, not soon, but in the next 4 months she'll be 12. I feel like I'm big on her expressing herself and being vulnerable. So I have to lead by example and, you know, also show that I can also be vulnerable publicly, you know, not just at home. So, yeah.
What is it about being vulnerable that makes you feel maybe uncomfortable or a bit uncertain?
I think people have a one-up on you. Like, you know, you can use my vulnerability against me, which people have done in relationships in the past. So I think that's why I'm just like, yeah, nah. That's why I always say, like, before anyone can dub me on anything, I will speak my truth beforehand. So I think that's why I've always just been quite, you lot don't deserve my vulnerability. Let me give you the hardness and then you lot can run with that.
Well, thank you for coming here and being vulnerable with me. I truly, truly appreciate that.
No, it's okay.
Especially from what you said, you know, where you say that people don't deserve your vulnerability because they try to get one up on you or try to use it against you. So I truly appreciate you being here today. And I'm not just saying that, I do truly appreciate you, because coming here and speaking about your life, speaking about, you know, things that make you feel vulnerable is not easy. I know it's easy for me to ask the questions, but as a guest coming on, it's not easy.
It's not at all.
It's not easy, it's not.
But, you know, I think I'm getting more comfortable. And I think the older I'm getting, I definitely, since I turned 30, I'm 33 now, it's my birthday last week.
Oh,
yeah, so I feel like now that I'm turning, in my 30s, I definitely feel like I've just found myself a new vim, a new glow. Like, I'm really in my woman bag, like I'm in my element of my feminineness. Like, I love being a woman, I love getting to know this me, you know. And yeah, it's just learning. I'm learning more and more about myself the older I'm getting.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you. And I feel like because I'm 32, I feel like for me, one of the things I say is that when you're in your 30s, it's like your 20s, but you've got more money and you know more about yourself and you just want to enjoy life. And as you said, be feminine and enjoy, you know?
Yeah. And so I'm enjoying being more feminine.
Oh, I love that. What was life like growing up? From East London.
Oh, from East London. Man, I grew up in East London, Canning Town, born and bred in Newham General Hospital. Lived in Canning Town all my life. My mum was a great role model. Single parent of 4 kids. I was like my mum's husband, to be honest. Like, I basically raised my siblings with her. I always call my siblings like my children. Yeah, it wasn't easy. I watched, she got married, it didn't work. I just watched a really strong, independent woman prevail through it and, do what she needs to do. And for her kids, she bought a house independently. No man helped her with that. She bought multiple properties, which I'd never ever used to speak about, but I feel like I need to give her credit where it's due because she really did her thing. She bought multiple properties, built properties in Nigeria, and she did that all by herself whilst raising 4 kids. So yeah, we lived in a house in Cannon Town, in an estate, in an area, a really nice estate. She was one of the first people to build her property, get a property there. And yeah, like life was good. Like, being a single parent in terms of, because I'm a parent myself, I guess what I have learned is maybe she wasn't as present in terms of being there because she was always working, which is understandable. And I think at the time, that's where I became quite naughty and mischievous and was able to get away with certain things. But on reflection, I wish I was a bit more understanding. Because I feel like looking back now, and I was quite specific in only having one child for that reason, because I felt like because there was 4 of us, I was always able to slip through the net and get away with murder. But she would always catch me though. She would have time.
Always found a way of knowing.
Always catch me, because I was the first.
Yeah.
So
you're the eldest.
I'm the eldest,
Okay.
and in our culture, especially Nigerians, they expect you to lead your siblings, and you are an example to your siblings. So if you go left, they're like, look, you've got your siblings watching you. So, but yeah, I wish I knew what I knew now. I think I wouldn't have been so hard with her. But I appreciate her because through it all, where I'd say my relationship with her became a lot better was when I had my daughter. When I had my daughter, I think that's when I was just like, yes, you see motherhood? Phew.
Literally, the sacrifices,
the emotional journey, the roller coaster, the 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're not there, and the reality is that you can't not do it. Like, you have to do it. So for me, I just really hats off to her, because at many points she could have been like, I'm done, I can't do this, take these kids and I can't do this anymore. But she stuck through it. She went through a lot. My siblings' dad, wasn't great. So she was very, very, really on her own. So when I look back on that, and me being an adult myself, I really have to say, well done, Mum, because you did amazing. With, you're raising 4 kids, and then you have a man that's kind of like not doing what he's meant to do or pulling his weight, but you're still trying, and you're still making sure that you're trying to make your marriage work and keep a household, but it's not working, but you're still trying and trying and trying. So I remember a lot of things when I reflect back on my childhood, and I think, wow, Mum, you tried. And at first I used to think, why is she so angry? Why is she so aggressive? Why is she like, I didn't do nothing. I didn't tell you. But I understand it now, because it's not like she's angry and aggressive at me. It's just she's angry and aggressive at her situation, and yet she still had to get up every morning and work, and she still had to come home and cook dinner, and she still had to make sure there was a roof over her kid's head. So I don't feel like I thank her enough for what she did growing up for us.
I love that. Shout out to Mummy for being that resilient woman, and showing you as well as an eldest daughter, showing you now what it means to be a woman and take care of your children. When you were younger and you said you had to be there for your siblings, what was that like for you mentally, having to, you referred to being your mum's husband.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
I would definitely say I hated it. When I look back on it, I love it now, because it made us, I appreciate it, because you see, me and my siblings were all very close.
I love that.
Like we are, like, I host Christmas at mine every year. My siblings come and stay at mine. So, and I feel like it wouldn't be that if it wasn't for my mum. My mum was like, if you want to go cinema, you take your 3 siblings with you. If you want to go to the shop, you take your 3 siblings with you. So I used to be known as the girl, if you're going to invite Esther, add +3. Because I would have, if it's not +3, it'll be like +1, my little brother, because he was just right behind me, like 3 years below me. And so people used to know me as Esther and her siblings. If you're going to invite Esther, you got to invite her siblings. And sometimes I never got invited to things. So yeah, but you know, I feel like I'm appreciative regardless, because I think that she could see the future beyond what it was at the time, which is these friends are going to come and go. You know, you may not be, and I say this to my daughter all the time, the friends that you have now will not be the same friends that you'll have when you're an adult. And whereas your siblings and your family, you're stuck like glue forever, you know. And I'm grateful for that, because now me and my siblings are very close. I've got a brother that's just after me. He's 30 now. Then I've got my little sister who just turned 25. And then I've got my youngest brother who is 23 now. And so there's quite a bit of a gap between the last two, but we're very close. Me and my sister, I'm 8 years older than her, and we're like this. So I'm grateful for those lessons and being forced to take them out with me, because we are very close now. And even my siblings, they refer to me as Sister Esther. They don't call me by my name. They call me Sister Esther. And I remember when my mum was telling me this, I was like, why are you making them call me sister? But it's a level of respect. And my siblings highly respect me because they see me as their second mum. And, you know, I feel like I'm grateful for that role that I was given, because I feel like it made me an amazing mother to my daughter. So, yeah.
I love that. And were there any low moments during that time?
Yeah, just not being able to, you know, I feel like sometimes I didn't really have a childhood at times because I was given a responsibility that I didn't really ask for.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, sometimes you just want to be a child and do things. And I won't take that away. I was still a child. My mum still took us on holidays. We went to Butlins with my godmother. She's still done her very best, but I just felt like, oh, like sometimes, why are you not here? Like, why were you born? Go back to where you're coming from. Like, I want to be free.
It gets like that.
Yeah, it gets like that. But again, I think I don't know any older sibling that has never felt like that and felt like they didn't really want siblings because they kind of wanted their. And I feel like as well, the low moments I do feel is if I didn't have my siblings, but God, I love them, I do love them. But if I didn't have my siblings, maybe I would have turned out a bit differently, you know, in the sense that there would have been a bit more focus on me. Like, I feel like I didn't get as much focused on, like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying,
yeah,
but you
know
does. Where, like, you see, like, because Desi's my only child, she's my 110% focus. I never really sometimes felt that. So that's why I was able to get away with so much and, you know, do certain things that I shouldn't have been doing. But I do wish sometimes that I had been given 110% the focus on. But again, you know, whatever God ordains, he ordains.
Yeah. Aww. And talk to me a bit about life then. So grew up in East London, you were the eldest child. How old were you when you had your daughter?
So I was 21 when I had my daughter. I was quite naughty. I got myself into a bit of trouble. I went to an all-girls school, went to St. Angela's.
Oh, you went to St. Angela's? Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I went to St. Angela's.
So you had a brown uniform?
Had the brown uniform. I struggled in school, St. Angela's. I felt like I was trying to fit in a lot with the girls. The girls were bitches in St. Angela's. They were bitches. And obviously, I'm happy that a lot of them have changed and, you know, they're nicer now. But at the time, they were mean. They were very mean. I never I wasn't aesthetically pleasing because in my culture and in my household, there was no such thing as extensions and, you know, what I used to just get cane rolls and, you know what I mean, I wasn't wearing makeup. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. That was even forbidden. And I feel like that kind of made me go on a journey of being a tomboy. I became a tomboy because I just felt like guys never liked me. You know, you might get guys like, oh, I fancy you, you fancy me.
Oh, I didn't get that. When I was younger, I went Bishop Challoner.
Oh, did you? It was between Bishop and St. Angela's for me.
And yeah, I didn't get that either. I was like the socially awkward person, like by myself, to myself, not many friends, like maybe 2 friends, and just kept to myself. So you're not alone in that.
Oh, yeah. But I also had a little circle, Vanessa in St. Andrews. I had my little crew, but it used to be just 1 or 2 of us, but you had the popular group, and then you had the middle, and then you had the non so popular group. I felt like we kind of were in between the middle stroke non-popular group, but we always tried to merge into the popular group.
Yeah.
And then there was a popular group who like had older sisters.
Yeah, in the school.
Yeah,
it's always the
and
way.
yeah, and they were just like, yow. And I felt like I was I tried to really adapt myself to be a part of that group. And I felt like I did things to be accepted. I've never actually spoken about this before, but yeah, I did things to be accepted. I actually got kicked out of St. Angela's with 2 other girls. They will not be named. One of them is doing really well. She's gone into acting. I'm quite proud of her. And the other one, I don't know what to even say about what's happened to her, but yeah, so they were part of a popular group, and I felt like at the time I was trying to really, really be a part of a crowd really badly, and they was going to
Why do you think that was?
Because I just felt like, I just looked at their upbringing and I just thought, rah, like you don't have no younger siblings you got to be responsible for, like you guys can stay out till whatever time you want, and it's like, why don't I get that? So I remember at the time, there was a rave called Young Man Standing. I don't know what my ass was doing at any damn Young Man Standing. I do not have a clue what my ass was doing there, because that was where like all the MCs like used to go. They used to have clashes. It used to be sick. More Fire Crew used to go there. Is that Lethal B's crew?
Okay,
was it More Fire Crew? Yeah. And I remember like, cause of one of the girls' older sisters, she was in like year 11 at the time, and we was in like year 8 or something.
Oh, wow, okay.
Year 7, year 8. She was like, yeah, like she was definitely ahead of her time. So anyway, we wanted to go to Young Man Standing, and we just did not have the money or the facilities to do so. So I remember at the time, I think the girls came up with the idea of stealing stealing a purse from the staff room, and like we can go to Stratford and go and buy clothes from Risky. Remembers Risky? Risky.
Oh my God,
and then like getting contact lenses, and just we can
Did
make it. We can take it. And then literally, me wanting to adapt and fit into this popular group, I was the one who went in there and took the bag, and when it came down to it, the teachers found out. I told one of the older girls that I did it, and I didn't even tell the girls. They snitched on me. People snitched on me because it was me that did it. And it was quite serious. Like I got kicked out of St. Angela's school. And you know what was sad about it on reflection? My mum put in so much work to get me into that school. If to be a Catholic and to get into a Catholic school, it's a process. It's not easy. Like you have to go to do your first communion. You have to go to classes every Saturday. You have to be a part of a Catholic church,
know the priest.
A parish. You need to know the priest. So like when I think about it, I was naughty. I was really naughty.
It was almost as if like you were rebelling against the childhood that you had, and that's normal. We always hear that, when you hear when we were growing up, the child that was quite brought up in a strict home, and then when they get that opportunity to rebel, it's like they're rebelling and they want to do whatever it is just to have that fun and just to fill that void from not being able to have that fun.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. I was rebelling. I ended up, we didn't just steal the handbag. We actually went to Stratford. Back in the day, I think you used to swipe cards and you sign it.
Okay.
And then literally, I think we went shopping. It's all right, I can talk about it because I was prosecuted. I did my time and everything. So it was quite serious, but at the time I don't think I knew the magnitude of what I was doing.
You were young.
I was young. Yeah, I was literally, I think I was like 12 years old. I was 12. Wow. I remember I was 12. Because I'm one of the youngest, I'm an August baby, so everyone would have turned 13 before I turned 12. I mean, before I turned 13, before I turned 12, everyone had already turned 12 and was going on 13 while I was turning 12. So,
so you were the youngest.
Yeah, I was the youngest. It went to, I apologised to the school, I apologised to the teachers that were affected. I was taken to court. Magistrate court in Stratford.
Oh wow! At 12 years old?
At 12 years old.
What was that like?
Do you know it is, what was it like? I remember when I was arrested.
That must have been so scary.
It was scary, but do you know my dad was amazing.
Okay.
My dad did an amazing job. Oh my gosh, I remember when I was getting arrested, because they asked for me to come in. I think because of my age, I was a minor. I need to come with an adult. My dad was like, I'll take her, you know. My dad was a bit of a bad man back in the day. He said, I'll take her. And then he took me. And then I remember they put me in a cell.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was crying. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, ugh, like, it's so disgusting in here. I was Forest Gate Police Station, I'll never forget. And I was just, they put me in a cell for quite a long time. My dad was outside, and then I was hungry. And he was like, what do you want? I said, McDonald's. And he went and got me McDonald's. And then, I was interviewed. And at first I lied. And everyone was lying. No one wanted to take accountability. And then, I think it was going to go to trial. It was that serious.
Wow.
Like, it was going to trial. Like, and then I think just before we were going to go to trial, I just said, I can't, like, I took the bag and I just felt like I thought everyone would kind of own up to what they did because I wasn't the only one that did it. We all played a part, like we all did something. I just said, I did it and I don't mind. Charges got dropped against the other two girls whilst I was given community service. I was given 16 hours community service or something like that, from what I remember. And because I was 12, it was like wiped off of my record. So it never affected like my life in terms of in my adulthood. I've never actually spoken about this. It never affected my life. And it was a big like learning and lesson. And from there, I never spoke to none of them St. Angela's girls again. None of them, not even the ones that were still in there, that were left behind. And
how did that shape your narrative in regards to females, how you viewed females, but also your life, having gone through that? Because that must have been so scary. At 12 years old, you know, you're still young, you're still developing, you're not even mentally aware of what you're, not condoning what you did, but you're not mentally aware of what you're doing, what you're experiencing. So how did that shape your narrative about the girls who didn't even own up, and then your life during that?
I actually hated every single girl in St. Angela's. I hated everyone in my year group. I hated all of them. Not one person except Vanessa, who I would always love. We grew up together. She lived in Canning Town, and but every single person in that, especially that popular group, I hated everyone. Like, and I didn't keep in touch with nobody. I had no relationship with none of them. Didn't care for them. And I just thought, I just felt like they never made my experience in school nice anyway. Like, you know, I used to have braces, I had big teeth, and I just felt like there was a lot of bitchiness. And as an adult, how it has formed me is I refuse to let my daughter go to an all-girls school. Absolutely refuse to, because I know what it can be like in those environments. Already in a mixed school, she goes through a little bit of here and there girl stuff. So talk less of an all-girls school, what it'd be like. I absolutely hated it. I think maybe even still now, there's a level of hate I hate towards all-girls schools. I think that there's not enough managing of how girls are to each other. And, you know, you might speak to a teacher about it, but no one really acknowledges it, you know. So, it is what it is. I'm at peace with it. I let it go. Have I seen those girls since? One of them I have. And to God who made me, I just think, wow, look at you and look at me. And I saw them in about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Looks very sick. One of them looks like they're on some form of drugs, I'm not sure, but they looked very sick, because I asked about, like, is that person okay? But I've heard that life hasn't been, you know, great for them since. And I then look at my mum and say, thank you, mum, thank you, dad, thank you, my family, because you guys, my family would never let me derail. Like, my family were very instrumental in picking me back up. I went to a behavioural school after Tonmarsh in Plaistow, a lot of people don't know that as well. I went to Tonmarsh, and I feel like when I was there, my grandma used to come and do volunteer work there, and like, I felt like I'm very grateful for my family, because my family were very, very, like, they would not let me derail. They were just like, nope, like, and I think it was because they knew it's just guidance I needed, you know, just be attention.
Yeah.
So that was it. I went to Tom Marsh. I was in Tom Marsh for like 6 months, like in it with the bad boys, and my cousin was there. I had a few people that used to look after me, and then I went to Royal Docks Community School, and that's when I really understood childhood.
Okay, and what was that like in Royal Docks?
I loved Royal Docks. Big up Royal Docks.
Like people from Royal Docks.
Everyone in there was amazing. Everyone embraced me. I met my best friend Mary. Just everyone, Beverly, everyone was just amazing. Like I loved Royal Docks. Mr. Ross, I went there even when I was pregnant with my daughter, imagine 11 years ago, I was on placement for my degree, and literally I went to Royal Docks. They're like, yeah, we'll have you with my pregnant, and I was helping the year 11s in their GCSEs, and that school, they did not judge me for what I did, because they knew where I'd come from, and they just loved on me. Everyone loved on me. Royal Docks really they made me enjoy my childhood differently. They made me enjoy school. I wanted to be in school when I was at Royal Docks, and I just enjoyed it. I embraced it.
And I think that's all we need. It's just that love, isn't it? Because we all come from different upbringings, and our upbringings can shape us and, what we do and how we experience the world. But we just need love. Yeah. And it just goes to show that Royal Docks loved you. Yeah, they accepted you for who you were, regardless.
The girls were amazing. The boys were amazing. We used to even if I was taking my siblings with me, it was no judgment. Yeah. It was like, it was just, come Esther, even though you come with your 3 siblings.
Come Esther plus 3.
Yeah, Esther plus, exactly. But I loved it. Royal Docks was an amazing experience. And I every time, even in my adulthood, I reflect back on my time there and I miss it. I really do, yeah.
Oh. And how did you get into the media industry? So I know you from Backchat. I think many people know you from Backchat. Very opinionated, but speak your point, and you're very wise with what you were saying, and we saw you grow throughout the years on Backchat. How did you get into Backchat, and how did your career progress into presenting?
Okay, so Backchat, Andy Amadi, he's actually...
Shout him out as well.
Yeah, big up Andy Amadi. Me and Andy have been friends since I was most probably about... Oh, this is before I was even a parent. I'm talking about 15, maybe 16. Andy used to do on YouTube short stories filming. He used to do YouTube short story films, and he used to captivate everybody. Like everyone in the end used to watch it. It just used to be like end stories, like typically things that you go through or we'd experience as children. And one day he was just like, Esther, and I did some acting with him. So when I was about 14, 15, I did some acting with him. I was in a little short film, because I actually went to drama school. Another thing people don't know about me, I have a degree in drama. I went to Kingdom Drama School, Ashley Waters' drama school. And I was very much in my drama. I used to love doing drama. Bola, I always say her name wrong, Adejeji, she's a writer. I was on her production in Deptford. We did a big production. So I was very much I loved acting. I loved theatre. I used to love theatre. I used to love reading scripts, being on a stage and just performing. So I used to do work with him on just scripts and stuff. And then he was just like, Esther, I want you on a show called Backchat. I feel like you'll be a perfect fit. And I said, he's developing this show where 5 guys and 5 women will discuss topics and, debate about it. And I thought, I don't know, I'm not sure. At the time, Destiny was about 3.5. I'd just broken up with my daughter's father. We were going our separate ways. And I thought, this would be something new to try. And I think that was then how it all begun. And then I met, that's how I was put on Backchat. And then from there, it just... I don't think any of us could comprehend how big we'll become or how big it would be. He used to say we're going to be stars, but I was like, please, man, we're just chatting. If I was going to be a star, you got have this wig on my head, you got me dressed like this, I'd have gone there like a superstar for real. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't know it was going to be what it was. But I think that was the beauty of Backchat, because we were organically ourselves. A lot of people used to question, is it scripted? No. We literally were just 5 guys and 5 girls in a kitchen, chatting bollocks.
I love that.
Just chatting and giving our opinions. And sometimes it would get nasty, Sometimes it would get aggressive. Sometimes it would get mean. Sometimes things would be said that you never really meant. But it was just like arguing at home with your family and friends, and you know, you get over it as soon as you walk out the door. You know what I mean? We never held on to things, and then that was it. And then from there, within that year, we blew up. We was on Faded, we was on BuzzFeed, we was on Channel 4. You know, every platform wanted us. We were actually signed a deal, which unfortunately didn't. It collapsed with Channel 4. We were gonna pilot it, and it was huge. Like I was traveling everywhere. I was going to Ireland, Canada, America. I was getting international bookings.
And what was that like?
It was amazing. Like I was just like, wow. Like I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I was in my little element. Like I was just really like, and I was happy that I had the people that I started off with me, like, you know, Choma, Lucas, Biscuit. It was just a journey. It was amazing. It was a really go-go. I don't think any of us predicted what it'll be, but looking back, it was an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey.
And I love that, especially when you go into something where you're just being your authentic self and it just grows organically.
Yeah.
And you just, like you said, you're touring, you're traveling, you're here, there, and you've got people with you that you love as well on that journey.
Yeah. So yeah, I really loved it. I have no regrets when it comes to Backchat at all. And yeah, from there, other doors opened. I went on to MTV The Challenge, which is an American show. I was picked up I was a reoccurring guest for Nonny TV, where I used to do like co-presenting. After that, what else did I do? That's how I get called here and there onto ITV to do Good Morning. So yeah, it just really did open a lot of doors for me. I started my hair business from it. So yeah.
So you become an entrepreneur from
being
your authentic self on a chat show.
Yeah.
With you and 4 girls and 5 guys just talking, and look how it just opened up so many doors.
So many doors, and that's just basically how the journey has continued to progress.
I love that. Shout out Andy, because even for me, you know, sometimes when I message him, he's always encouraging and saying, you know, I really want you to make it, and he's always like inspiring me and motivating me. So he is someone who is big in the game, and very supportive as well.
Very. I feel like he's not given enough credit for what he does, and yeah, he's amazing. He also, you know, has developed Easy Meals, his show. He's done so much. Blue Therapy.
Yeah, he's incredible, man.
So he's definitely amazing, and he continues to do well. And I feel like it's because his heart's pure. You know, he's got a pure heart, and so yeah, even I'm working with him on another project now, which we are hoping to soon get the ball rolling on, which is a new podcast. So yeah, a lot of times when I have things that I've got ideas that come to my head, the first person I go to is Andy.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
I love that. What's been the most challenging times in your career? I know you've been very vocal about some challenges and some difficulties that you've experienced. Yeah. But what would you say they've been, for those who don't know about any challenges you've gone through or faced?
I feel like the most challenging times is when there's nothing going on, the silence. You know, you go from being this big, blown, spoken about character who everyone's got something to say, and then all of a sudden the silence. Like, you know, people don't know what goes on in your mind, in your head when it's silent, you know, and that's where the mental health, you know, pops in, because, you know, sometimes you expect to be at certain places or expect to be at a certain point or have achieved certain things, and when it doesn't fall through, it's like people don't know what it does to your mental. You know, COVID was really hard for me because I was making a lot of money before COVID, and then COVID came and it was just sitting at home, getting big, eating, not being able to go out, you know, just watching the world just be isolated. You can't do nothing. Like, so I think COVID was really hard. One thing about me and my friendships, I'm not fake in this industry. I think that's one thing everyone that knows me knows. I always say there's a difference between friendships and associates. I'm associated with a lot of people. I can say, hi, what's up, you alright? Do you know what I mean? But my friendship circle, my friends and my sisters, these are friends I've had since I was 15, 12, you know. I've got maybe a couple friendships that I've developed through the industry who have been consistent, because I believe friendship is consistency, and, you know, not just being here because I'm big today and then not big tomorrow. Checking in on me when I'm silent as well.
Yeah, it's the checking in when you're silent.
When I'm silent, yeah.
How are you?
And how are you,
What's been
exactly,
going on?
yeah. Not, oh, what's going on today? Where are you going today? I want to come, you know. So even me, you'll see that I roll with my sister a lot. You know, my sister's someone that I like to roll with. Or if I'm not rolling with my sister, I'm rolling with people that I have known for years. Or don't get it twisted, sometimes it'll be people that we're going to the same event, we're in the same industry, all right, cool, meet up. But I vocalize a lot that there's a big difference between friends and associations. I've been burnt by people that are in the industry. Friendships that I've developed in the industry that I thought, nah, that's not how I work with my friends. My friends wouldn't do that to me. And unfortunately, I believe it's their loss now, because I believe that one thing about me is what you see is what you get. And God has given me an energy that a lot of people like to gravitate to. People always say to me, why are you always smiling? Why are you always happy? And a lot of times it's just because I don't allow life to take me down. I think COVID did that enough for us. So while we have our freedom back and we're living and we're breathing, and a lot of people, you know, died, you know, during COVID, both my dad and stepdad got cancer. No. I had surgery, I had pre-cancer cells. So I had to get I had pre-cancer cells in my cervix. So yeah, I went through a lot. So I feel like life is so short that I believe when you harbour things, it's almost cancerous. So I tend to let things go, and I tend to, you know, if you're for me, I'll let you into my personal space and in my circle. And if you're not for me, I then keep you at arm's length. I'm not fighting you, but that's where you stay. So I think, yeah, I'm very much, I keep my circle close, and I know who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. And the industry is a very, very funny place, extremely funny place. And I feel like people don't talk about it enough. I'm not going to sit and say it's fake, but I'll say it's a funny place. People are funny. Do
you want to share what you mean by that? I guess.
Okay, so funny.
Go.
Funny in the sense that, so today now I'm all over Channel 4, ITV, BBC. Hey, Esther, what you saying? My team, my nigga. But if I'm quiet, oh yeah, long time, like I ain't heard from you, but you had me all over your Snap about a year ago. Like you got my number and you don't holler, or yo, invited me here, invited me there, but then now I'm silent. Yeah. No invite.
It's almost as if people want to know you for what you do rather than for who you are.
Yeah.
And that could be a very lonely place for people in the public eye and in that industry, because it's like, who is for me? Because if you want to know me for what I do, what about who I am? You know, and like you said, it's dealing with that silence. And when you're by yourself in a room with your thoughts, that could be very scary.
Exactly.
And if you don't have people checking up on you, how are you, Esther?
Exactly.
You're quiet. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It could be a very lonely place.
Yes, it is. It can be, definitely. But that's why family is very important as well, because they remind you and they keep me grounded. Like my family always keep me grounded. My mum is like my biggest cheerleader. Like, you know, she's always supportive of whatever I'm doing. And she would always find words to encourage, not just me, all her kids. So yeah, it can be, it's a dark place. And do you know it is as well? I believe when you're in this industry, you have to be very spiritual. You have to have a relationship with God, whether it be God, whether it be Allah, whatever religion you serve, you need to have a relationship, because that's also a reminder of who you are, and not to get caught up, because you can get really caught up. You can get caught up in the midst of what goes on in the industry and forget yourself. So I'm always like, God, thank you. Thank you for keeping me grounded.
Amen.
Thank you for reminding me of who I am.
Amen.
And yeah, and so that's what I'll consistently say to myself. Because it's not easy. Life ain't easy. You know, adulting is not easy. It's hard.
Literally.
And yeah, but I think I'm doing quite well with it, and I'm learning each time and embracing it.
I love that. I love that for you as well, because, you know, I feel like I've seen you from Backchat and seen you grow and seen you progress. And, you know, I have heard about people's perception of you when on Backchat or when just doing other things. And it's so nice to see where you were to where you are now. And we all learn, we all grow, and we're not always going to be the same person we were when we were younger. So it's nice to see this side of you where you've learned and you've grown, and now you're a new woman.
Yeah. I think it'll be. I always say to people, when I started Backchat, I was like 24. I'm now 33. I would be worried if I was still the same person.
I would be worried as well.
I would be so worried. Yeah. I'd be like, God, what is going on? But no, you have to grow. You have to grow. And I think having a child makes you grow up. You know, I'm still my mum and my dad's child. My dad came to my house 2 days ago. Esther, you didn't cook. No, my gosh. I was like, Daddy, please leave me alone. Like, I'm still my parents' kid. I'm still immature. I still play around, but I'm growing and I'm maturing each time. And you know, life experiences allow you to mature. And I feel like life experiences, the things I've gone through in relationships as well, have made me grow up and grow and understand myself and understand what I'll tolerate and what I wouldn't tolerate. I have a spirit where I like to please people. I'm a pleaser. I like to make sure everyone's good. Are you okay? What do you need? You know, when I'm in a relationship, I sometimes put my own needs to the side to accommodate others. And I've learned that's not the case. It shouldn't be that. Like no, it doesn't work like that. So I just feel like I think all of the experiences I've gone through in the last 8 years have made me who I am. I still have I'm still loud. I still bust jokes. I might say something out of pocket, you know, but you know, I'll wheel it in, apologise if I offend. I'm never afraid to apologise to people, and I teach my daughter that as well. I apologised to my daughter last week for shouting at her. So I'm happy. I'm really. Do you know one thing I will say? I'm very happy with the woman I'm becoming. I have no qualms. I'm not sitting here thinking I wish I did this. No, I don't live in regret. I like to learn from my mistakes to make myself a better person.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
What's the best piece of advice I've been given about myself? I've stayed true to who I am. That's the best piece of advice. Because even though I've grown, you still see me. You're not seeing someone else. You're still seeing the same Esther, but you can see that I've grown up from who I once was to who I am now. So yeah, I'd say that's the best piece of advice I've been given. And the best piece of advice I consistently am given is don't change. You know, don't change. Don't let the world change your heart. Don't let the world change who you are. Be your organic self. Even on my birthday, when everyone messaged me happy birthday, the one thing that was consistent in the message story was do not change.
Oh, that's lovely.
Do not change. So I always hold on to that. Don't change. Because the world can really throw bricks at you, and you can one day think, like, you know, I've had a friend betray me, who I thought I knew, and I thought I was going to change. I wanted to hate everyone at the time. This was only in April. Someone that I trusted, someone that I thought I could trust, you know, and that really hurt me. But I always remember, don't change who I am. Because something like that would make me dispose of all my friends and not want to be friends with anyone again, you know, and just be in my own bubble. But I just thought, you know, I can't allow one man's actions affect all my other friendship circles that are not like that, or they're not, you know, they don't display that same character that he has. So I'm very big on not changing who I am and staying consistent and true to who I am. So yeah.
Have you ever been to therapy before?
Yes, I have. I went to therapy after the situation I had with my ex, when I came out and spoke about it.
For those who don't know, do you want to?
Yeah, for those who don't know, so I was in an abusive relationship with my ex-partner. It was financial abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And yeah, I spoke about it publicly because I was finding myself in a serious debt, and I was hearing, you know, he was going off and doing it to other women who were reaching out to me and, you know, saying, oh, he's done this to me, like, you know, he has to be stopped. And I never was going to ever speak on it, ever. But it was actually my friend Ariette, who was on Backchat as well, who said to me her friend was going through the same thing. They were dating him at the time, and that he's financially abusing her. And I just thought, yeah, I'm going to come out and speak on this. And that's what I did. And that kind of changed a lot of things. That really, I couldn't believe how many women I helped. Like, I couldn't, the messages I've got, it gave people the opportunity to understand the Clare's Law. A lot of women don't know about Clare's Law. Clare's Law is it's a platform where you can find out information about your partner or an ex-boyfriend or someone you're seeing, as long as you've got their full name and date of birth. So if I had known about Clare's Law before I dated this person, that person would have never been someone that would have been in my life, because he had previous convictions. There was about, I think, 10 or 12 allegations, 4 of which he was convicted for, all under domestic violence and abuse towards women. So I'm very happy that I was able to, open a door for women to kind of find out more about who they're seeing, and just, never, one thing I always say to women is never trust your instinct. If there's something telling you that's just not right, follow it. Yeah, because I wish I did. I wish I knew what I knew then at the time. Now, well, wish I knew what I knew, now then, because I feel like I would have saved myself a lot of heartache, a lot of financial abuse. I was in debt, oh my gosh, and I feel like it's only now I've kind of not even now, say in the last couple of years, I've kind of been able to pull myself out of it. I made foolish decisions, like taking out a car, and I don't encourage any woman to do such for anyone. Just if he's not your husband, then you shouldn't be in any form of financial commitment like such, because there's ramifications after. If it doesn't work out, the repercussions of it can be really bad. And I was left with debt upon debt upon debt, parking tickets, finance that was in my name. I had the finance already. I had 2 finances in my name, and yeah, it was just crazy. But I'm grateful that I came out of it good. Didn't get no defaults, no CCJs. I was able to,
And you're alive.
And I'm alive, exactly.
Praise be to God.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy about that.
And how did therapy help you with that?
It helped me. I blamed myself a lot at times, because sometimes you think, how stupid was I? How did I miss that? How did I not see that? Sometimes people don't understand. You can be blinded by love. When I say it, people think it's a joke. It could be black and white to your face that this person is not right, but to my face, because pillow talk is real, it can win. It can win, Sometimes your friends will tell you, you go home,
He said this.
So I feel like I was so blinded by love, and I just missed all the red flags, and I just think, Esther, what are you doing? I was so big on keeping my relationship a secret, and that's why now I'm a promoter of, if I'm dating you, you will end up in my group chat. This is his picture. This is where he's from.
This is where he lives.
This is where he lives. Is he got a girlfriend? You have to check. Is he got a girlfriend? Is he married? Is there anything I need to know about this man? Because everyone is so secretive, and you just in this generation, you don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. So I'm very I've learned a lot. I don't keep things a secret anymore. I'm very open with my family. If I'm dating someone, I'm like, yeah, I'm dating this guy. I'm very I don't hide, and I felt like he really tried to isolate me. Didn't even try. He isolated me. Didn't like me talking to my family. Didn't like me expressing myself about things to them, because he knew it would raise an eyebrow. Someone taking out a car. Why would you need to take out a car for him? Stuff like that. But I'm grateful for that lesson, because I've learned a lot from it. And now, in terms of how I am in now dating, if after 1, 2, 3 weeks you try me, okay, bye-bye, you're not for me. Do you know what I mean? I don't waste time, and I don't waste their time, my time. I don't waste no one's time. I believe in, sometimes that is the issue, giving someone so much of your time and they're not for you, and then you keep on trying. And another thing with me is, someone once said to me, Esther, you attract broken people. So I'm always trying to fix them, mend them, trying to see how I can, bring them back together. But no.
But we don't want that no more.
No, we
You're
don't
going to
want that,
attract
no.
people who are whole. People
whole,
who are
exactly, secure.
People who know what they want.
Exactly. And I'm very big on dating someone who is emotionally intelligent. Like, sometimes I was always overlooking the emotional intelligence. Oh, men are men. They're a bit different to women. No.
There are men out there who are emotionally intelligent.
And there's a man now that's even in my life who is showing me that, he's emotionally intelligent, he's emotionally available, he listens to me, he hears me, he takes me for who I am, my crazy self. He calls me stubborn sometimes, but he doesn't see my stubbornness and run away. He sees it, I want to give you some space. By the end of the day, I'll give you a call back. By the end of the day, he'll call me, how you feeling today? And he asks me how I am. He checks in on me, he checks in on my daughter. And at first, I've known this person for over a year. I was fighting this because I was thinking, he ain't got the bad boyness, he ain't got that, do you know what I mean? But the more time, I feel like the problem of our society today, we don't give each other time to get to know each other, time to learn each other, time to develop. We're so quick to jump in
and give it labels.
Yes, but now this time that we've known each other for a year, because he moved to me a year ago, oh no. And I even one time I said, you're too slow, I blocked him. It's okay. He said, it's all right.
Guys, don't get it easy.
He's like, it's all right. When you're ready and you've calmed down, you unblock me. I didn't unblock him, but he then called me. He's like, are you ready to unblock me? And I actually unblocked him. I said, right, you came down again. And those are all the things that I look at and I think, raw, like, you actually have time for me. Like, he actually is teaching me that you don't need to mend someone that is broken, because sometimes you shouldn't attract broken people. Like, he's teaching me that God, like, I'm not supposed to raise a man. A man should come to me, a man already, He's teaching me how to be vulnerable. Don't get twisted, he still sometimes says to me, Esther, gosh, geez, you're so, it's all right, we're getting there. Because I've still got the mandem listening.
little sass.
Yeah, little sass. Like, he's like, don't worry, we're going to get there. Like, he's teaching me to be more feminine.
And it sounds like he's patient with you as well.
Very patient. So big him up, he's doing really well. He's trying, who knows what happens, what will happen, but as it's going, I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm enjoying being vulnerable to someone that I can trust. Yeah. Because sometimes I felt like I've been vulnerable to people that I couldn't trust, but yet I was still trying to be vulnerable. Yeah. It's almost like I felt like at one point in my life, I was trying for a man to see the good in me when he shouldn't.
You shouldn't have to prove yourself to other people.
I shouldn't be trying to show you the good in me.
You should already see it.
You should already see it. And I feel like with him, he already saw it from the very beginning. From way back, a year. So God bless him. So he's doing really well. And he's also very spiritual.
Amen.
And I love that about him. At first I was thinking, because with me and God, I feel like me and God's relationship is like up and down. Like, I'm here today, I'm there tomorrow. But because of his relationship with God and how he is, it's making me like, Amen. Like I speak to him about it, and I said, all right. He goes, yeah, like, and he's on my flex of praise and worship. I love praise and worship. Amen. So
that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so he's like, let's see it, wait and see what happens. But we are just dating, but I'm enjoying it, Yeah. I'm enjoying the journey.
And as you should, you want to enjoy it. You want your nervous system to feel calm. Yeah. You want to feel feminine. You want to feel like you can trust someone and allow them to lead. Yeah. So enjoy it for what it is.
Yes.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah. So
Oh, Esther, thank you. Before we go, what can we expect from you in the future?
Okay, so at current, obviously, I have my show Fashion Feds, which is doing really well. We just done the GRM Gala. We're trying to get ourselves onto the Forbes, the big Forbes charity group that's happening in September. I'm also got a new podcast that I'm coming out with Diamond. She's the mummy of 5. Wow. So it's going to be called Women Alike, and we are currently in the development stages, sorry. And yeah, that's another podcast that I'll definitely say that I am going to be a bit more vulnerable. People are going to see a different side to me on that podcast. People are going to see the mother hood and my journey and what it's been like. Because as much as a lot of people see me and my daughter and say, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, it's so amazing, you guys look so good together, because my daughter's now becoming her own little person. You know, she's going to be 12, she's taller than me now.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like you can't show off the result without speaking on the journey. And I'm going to be talking about the journey. You know, Diamond's a mother of 5, married. I'm a mother of 1, single. So it's just our 2 different experiences on life and how we are growing as young parents, you know, and how we're keeping up with their time, you know.
My God, yeah.
You know, because their time is something like, you know, social media is at its peak, you know, and you've got to kind of find a balance of not being too strict and also allowing them to also be free as well. You know, there's a lot of kids now that are running away from home, which I'm starting to learn, because I've got a lot of friends that are older who have got kids that are 14, 15, and you know, I'm learning a lot, and the platform is just for us to kind of allow young parents, young mums, you know, young families, even wives that might be going through it, that people don't, you know, wives don't really talk about what they go through. Being a wife and a mother is not easy, and I love the fact that Diamond's going to be on there talking about her journey and expressing how it's been for her and any tips that she can give out to women in her position. And so I'm excited about that podcast. I'm really excited.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and just learning things that I learned. A lot of people ask me, do I regret not making it work with my daughter's father? Do I regret? You know what it is? If I was the person I was today, then I think maybe I would have put in more effort and tried and been more patient. But I think I was too young then to know what love, family, you know, to raise a family is hard.
Yeah, especially in your 20s. That's when you're still developing and growing and your mindset's changing. You know, you want to live, you want to enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
But yeah, and it can be difficult.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
No
for being
worries.
vulnerable.
It's
Thank you for
okay.
being open with me and trusting me to come here and, you know, share your story.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank
And I
you.
wish you all the best.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.